welcome. If you're new to the channel, my name's Elliott and you're watching Rickety Ski Reviews. Today we're gonna answer your questions and comments, just kind of go down the line. As always, I say this a lot, but right now, end of August is the best time to buy skis. So I'm gonna try to help answer as many questions as I can so you guys can get good deals. I just put out a video last week talking about some of the best deals out there and why the deals are so good. So I will take those links and kind of put them in the description of this video, you know, if that's helpful to you, or you can check that video out down below. But I'm going to try to get into the specifics so I can help you guys. So if you are shopping for skis now, you can do it now while skis are still cheap. So without further ado, let's just jump into your comments and questions. All right, the first comment comes from JDT Hood. They say, I used to rent skis, but I recently moved to the East Coast where it's possible for me to ski on weekends. So I'm purchasing skis. I have bought 70mm width wide piste skis and 100mm wide skis for fresh snow off-piste. I'm considering getting an 85mm wide Crud Buster too. Would the Mantra 88 be a good choice? What are the best alternatives to it? Man, you really gotta give me more information. Like, what is your ability? What skis do you typically like? What exactly are your other skis? Knowing the other widths is good, but you know, having a bent 100 versus a Nordica Enforcer 99, those are very different skis. So it's hard to know exactly what you're looking for and like what this ski is complementing. As far as just like general advice, the Mantra 88 is a very good kind of crud buster mid-width ski. That would be my first choice. The alternatives I think are kind of in that Nordica Enforcer line, although I don't like the Enforcer 94. I like the Enforcer 99. I haven't really tried the Enforcer 88. But typically, just generally, Nordic Enforcers are a pretty good alternative if you're looking for a crud busting alternative to the Volkl Mantra. But as far as skis I've tried that are good crud busters, again, a lot of the crud busters out west that I try are 99-ish, give or take, millimeter width skis. But some other good options that I've tried are the K2 Mindbender series, although they are made in China, so take that for what it's worth. The Nordic Enforcer 99, and the Volkl Mantra M7. As far as I'm concerned, if you're looking for that kind of 88-ish, 85 to 90mm width crud buster, I would say the Mantra 88 is probably your best bet. The alternatives, you could look at like a Stockli Stormrider, isn't too bad at that, like a Stormrider 88. That might be a good kind of alternative. You could also look at the Volkl Mantra 84. I reviewed that and really liked it, and I felt like that had a lot of kind of the things I liked as far as getting through adverse snow conditions I liked, but it doesn't give you as much turn flexibility. It kind of sends you more down the fall line, and it's a little bit more punchy and aggressive, so that could be an alternative. Again, I need a little bit more information, and I really try not to recommend skis I haven't tried, and unfortunately because Nordica is kind of so, I don't know, hands-off, or they'd rather kind of pay marketing people than get the reviews to me, I can't really give you an alternative at that width, but I think those are some good options. The big difference with the Nordic Enforcer and the Volkl M7 Mantra that I find is that the Nordic Enforcers really like to finish their turns at the end of the ski, whereas the Mantra series is pretty underfoot, where the bite kind of happens. So take that for what it's worth. But honestly, if you're looking for an alternative to the Mantra 88, I mean, the deals on the Mantra 88 are phenomenal right now, but if you're just looking for a good alternative, I do think that the Stockli Stormrider 88 can be a good alternative. If you're looking for just like a slam dunk carving ski, there's always that Stockli Montero AR. But as far as like adverse conditions and good options, I don't know. Probably I'd go Mantra 88 or Stormrider 88. I hope that helped. Thanks so much for writing in. All right, next comment comes from Blur Glide. They say, is the Black Crows Octo not worth adding to the quiver if I just got Stockli Montero ARs? Well, first off, congratulations on those Stockli Montero ARs. Those are some of the best carving skis I've ever put on my feet. What would I say about the Octo? Yeah, if you're primarily focused on carving, I think that's a great complementary ski. You have two skis that are both pretty narrow, so if you're looking for something for like kind of softer snow or higher volume snow, just that two skis as a two ski quiver is pretty good like for carving, because the Monero AR is phenomenal at open radius turns and pretty aggressive like GS turns. And then you get the Black Crows Octo, which is more like slalom turns. It's lightweight, it can do those short radius turns. So from a carving perspective, that is a phenomenal 1-2 punch. You know, having both options. You can kind of take the Octo a little bit off trail too. I think that that's a great option if you're really focused on carving. If you powder ski and those are your only two skis, you know, then, right, that's not a lot of diversity width-wise. You know, you might want to look at getting a powder ski or a light powder ski, whatever. So it's good from a carving perspective, but from a broader picture, you're still kind of focused on this carving area. That may be perfect for what you're looking for, and I do think that they, in a very weird way, complement each other, right? Nice, smooth, long open radius turns, fun, bitey, short radius turns. You've got both of those turns dialed in. But if you need a powder ski, maybe that would be the next ski I would buy, just so you're not limited on those kind of big snow days. But again, I don't know where you're skiing and what you're looking to do. That's just my 2 cents. But in a weird way, from a carving perspective, they are definitely kind of a very cool yin and yang combo. And then you had a follow-up comment, or should I keep my eyes open for the Justis for a 1-ski quiver travel ski? Yeah, if you need that, that's a pretty good option. Again, it just depends on where you're traveling to. Do you need it for warm weather? Then like maybe you're looking at an M7 Mantra. If I was gonna have a travel ski, I do like the Justis. Yeah, if you need a travel ski, maybe go with the Justis first and then look at getting the Octo. They're both great options. They're both very well made skis. They just do very different things. So, you know, but if you're somebody who only cares about carving and you're only kind of going when there's corduroy out, then absolutely go with the Octo combo. If you have all these like carving skis, I'm not sure what the rest of your quiver looks like, or if, you know, if you just, you're gonna love skiing on your Monero ARs for carving. So if you need something that's for off trail, if you even like off trail, or if you wanna do powder skiing, or if you need a ski that's gonna travel with you, yeah, the Justis probably rounds your quiver off a little bit better. Oh, okay, I've been trying to find this comment. Here we go. Mr. Stumpkin says, love the channel, but still don't wear a helmet half the time, in part because of the way skiers get so high and mighty about them. I ride a motorcycle and always wear one then, but don't say anything to the guys that don't. You must be in New Hampshire, where it's live free or die. Maybe that law's changed. It used to be that you didn't have to wear a helmet. They're idiots, but it's their business, and I have skied my whole life. I've hit a tree face first going fast when I was a kid. My dad's friend was almost sure I was dead, but in my 47 years, I've hit my head hard while surfing or sailing more often, and I don't wear a helmet then. I definitely wear a helmet when I'm charging or I'm skiing steep rocky terrain, but otherwise it's a personal preference. Good fitting boots are just a must. Well, thank you for writing in, and I'm glad you love the channel. What do I think about helmets? I think you might be kind of missing the point of helmets, and that's not like a dig or a jab. I'm just gonna say, back when I worked for Ski Racing Magazine, I wrote a whole article about this, and I talked to a doctor or professor from the University of Norwich, who was a doctor, but I'm not sure if it wasn't like, you know, you're on an airplane. Is anybody here a doctor? Oh, I'm a doctor in this. No, if that makes any sense. Ah, God. Anyway, and what this guy had told me was, and maybe, you know, maybe you can still find the article. I think it was one of skiracing.com's best articles ever written, and I published it like a week before they fired me. Or restructured me, whatever, however you want to say it. But yeah, basically my understanding from talking to this guy is what helmets are really good at isn't the big crashes like you're talking about, and you know, you are right that like people being high and mighty about them doesn't help anyone. And they're not even like built the same as motorcycle helmets. What ski helmets are really good at is glancing blows. So let's say that you're going down a World Cup Super G hill and you're going 50, 60 miles per hour and you lose a binding and your other ski swerves into a tree. If you hit that tree going 60, 70 miles per hour, the helmet isn't gonna do anything because your vital organs are basically gonna be like tomatoes squished in a compression. Like, you have way bigger issues than the helmet. What the helmet is really good at is glancing blows from about however tall you are, 6 foot, whatever, to the ground. And a lot of people don't think about that, but like, let's say you just fall over awkwardly on a flat surface, or somebody cuts you off and you fall and you whack your head against the ground. That is what the helmet is really good at. It's really good at preventing concussions from that level. It's also really good at preventing abrasions. If a branch is swooping through, if you just kind of hit your head off of a hard surface, it's really good at those glancing blows at that level. And honestly, when you get in a wreck, you really should replace your helmet. I think the shelf life on them is somewhere between 5 and 7 years, depending on how you store them, how much UV exposure they get. In my opinion, nobody ever plans to get hurt in a big hit, right? It just kind of happens. Somebody cuts you off, somebody runs into you, maybe you're in the lift line. That's when that kind of stuff can happen. And at least the way I see it is we're still starting to see the long-term effects of CTE and concussions. There's a reason I don't let my kids play football or any of those other kind of sports, because we know long-term it does damage to your brain development and as a child, and not to mention just your functionality as an adult. So in my opinion, do whatever you want. I'm not your dad. I'm not gonna tell you what to do. But if it was me, I personally wear a helmet every single time. I always wear a helmet, even if it's hot and I don't like it, because you never know when somebody who is a beginner, who shouldn't be on an advanced trail, is gonna cut you off, and then you're gonna kind of whack your head off the side. I've had times where I was powder skiing, not going fast, and I just couldn't see that there was like a dip in the trail suddenly, right? And then suddenly I'm bonking my head off of there. It's hard because if a helmet does its job, you never notice that it's doing a good job. So it's a very underappreciated piece of gear, but a really essential piece of gear. They're also warmer. There's some really cool technology that's come out that's helping prevent brain rotation when you get in these crashes. But you are kind of right. Like, if you are going really fast and you run into something, it's not gonna prevent you from getting really hurt or dying. But what it can prevent is these kind of off the cusp, awkward falls, or just, like if you're going down the hill, right? Like, let's say you're just doing a normal run, you're doing 20 miles per hour, and your skis fall out from under you. Well, your head's not going 20 miles per hour, right? Your feet kind of go out from under you, and your head will just kind of have a glancing blow, or whatever the rate is for your body to fall out from underneath you. For that stuff, it's really good, and it can prevent long-term brain damage. And while I get the notion of not wanting to wear one, I wear one all the time, and I would highly recommend that if you ski frequently and you want to do the sport long term, it's a vital piece of equipment. Do whatever you want with that information, and I'm not trying to talk down to you, but I would absolutely consider wearing a helmet if you're not already. And if you have a helmet that's old, swap it out. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox now. And yes, you're right as far as good fitting boots are a must. Thanks so much for writing in, just my 2 cents on it. All right, James Lombardo on my 5 things you can buy to ski faster is number 6, don't ski on weekends or holidays. Take vacation days and ski on less crowded days. That's a really good one. It's probably also a really good way to get more runs in and prevent getting hurt. It is hard though, right? There's a reason weekends are busy, and that's because that's when people can access it. I have found if you go on weekends, again, maybe my ski hill is just so small that this is only relevant to me, but I've had pretty good luck if I just don't try to get to first chair on the weekends. And sure, you won't get first tracks, and if it's a big powder day, whatever, but like if you just go, especially with kids, I just kind of leisurely go at like 12 to 1 o'clock. The ski hill usually is like about at least a third of people is cleared out, if not 2/3. You can get whatever parking spot you want. A lot of people go in for lunch and they don't go back out. I don't know. And again, my ski hill has like night skiing, so you could go pretty late into the evening even. But I found that if you just kind of take your time, you don't get stressed out, you go in the afternoon. A lot of times my kids can only ski for 2 or 3 hours anyway. I've had pretty good luck with that. So maybe that's if you can't avoid weekends, a way that you could get around that. Because I think if you go to the mountain at 9 or 10 o'clock on a Saturday, you're just gonna be like stuck looking for a parking space, stuck if you're in Colorado, God save your soul, you're gonna be stuck on that highway in traffic. There are a lot of ways around it, and again, my mountain is much smaller, but that's kind of one little way I've been able to circumvent some of the crowds we get up here at Bogus Basin. All right, last comment. Fritz Frank says, in my honest opinion, this needs to be a regular feature. This is on the roasting fan ski quivers. A full roast reviewers quiver episode. I love it. If I knew you were doing it, I'd send mine in. If you're thinking about doing another one, announce it in a video. Okay. Here's me announcing it. If you guys want me to roast your ski quivers, please send them in. You can email me at ricketyskireviews@gmail.com. You can send me a DM on Instagram. The one caveat is I'm not gonna roast your ski quiver unless I have a picture of it, okay? That's all I'm asking. I want a picture of it, and I just want like maybe the skis and the years. Don't write me a long paragraph. You can write like what each ski is for, maybe where you ski, kind of like general information, but if you want your ski quiver roasted, I will do a future video of that. Please send it in. I can't promise I'll do everyone. I will probably prioritize channel members, so maybe send me a screenshot also of you being a channel member, and I will try to prioritize you out of the bunch. But yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to roast or, you know, maybe romanticize or, you know, hype up your ski quivers, because some of you guys have really good ski quivers. So yeah, all right, Fitz Frank, I hear you, and here's my announcement. Please send it in within the next 48 hours of when this video goes live, and I will try to include your ski quiver in a video. And, you know, maybe if I get a lot of submissions, maybe I'll kind of break it down and spread it out over the like couple of days or a couple of videos, you know, just depending, so if you don't see it right away. But yeah, calling all fans of the channel, send in your ski quivers. I would be more than happy to at least talk about them. I love talking about it. I love like going to friends' houses and going in the garage and being like, oh, what skis do they have? So that sounds awesome. Send it in. So anyway, that's the end of the video. If you like this kind of content, please consider liking and subscribing. We also have channel memberships. We have Ko-Fi links, Venmo links if you want to donate. I don't care if you guys do that, but you know, a lot of people will do that on YouTube, and YouTube takes half of it. So consider just kind of doing it that way if you do want to support the channel. I will also, in the description of this video, have all of the best deals from my last week's video, so you can kind of comb through those and save yourselves a bunch of money. Thank you everyone who wrote in. I hope you found it helpful. And you know, I always say this, but of course, thank you guys so much just for watching my videos. Really, that's what means a ton to me. If you like and subscribe, that does kind of help promote it to the algorithm, and it helps me kind of spread these videos to more people. But as always, more than anything, just thanks for being here. Thanks for taking time out of your day. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. See ya.